Happy Monday, St. Louis. We need to talk about this prospect that could very well be a St. Louis Blue come the draft in a couple of weeks. I'll talk more about him coming up here on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked on Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked on Blues. I am your host of Locked on Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked on Blues, I will be talking about the prospect of the day. A lot of prospects to talk about as the draft is next weekend, which is actually insane how that is. Then Moosa's back, in which ways I will let you know, and a contest alert. So much to get into on today's episode. Before I go any deeper, I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. FanDuel.com/locked-on to get started. I hope everybody is having a great Monday. It is June 17th. And the draft, the draft is only 11 days away. The Stanley Cup playoffs have extended to game 5, so that will be tomorrow night. So it is cutting it close to the draft, which is fine with me because that means more hockey leading up to the draft. And as a hockey guru, I love that. Just cats in 5 or 6, please. But I will be talking about a prospect that I really like for St. Louis, a guy that I really think could add a lot of potential, especially with some of the situations we're in with some of our lines. And this prospect, he is one of the most NHL ready players that would get drafted a little bit later in the first round. Right now, we do have the 16th overall pick. I know it sucks. I get it. Okay. I don't like it. But this is a guy that you can definitely get your value out of without having to trade down, in a sense of having to trade for a higher pick or doing anything in that sense. Say at 16, it is possible to get the one and the only. It is Michael Brandsegg-Nygård. He is a right winger and he is a strong right winger, okay? And the thing about him too, he is a two-way forward, okay? He is actually insane. Right now, he does play for more IK and the Norwegian national team, despite the fact that he is from Sweden. The interesting thing about him, and this is a little bit about his history, a little bit about, maybe the kind of hard work that he puts in. Um, he moved out living at home when he was 16 to focus on playing hockey. And it definitely has showed. I mean, he is one of the stronger players in this draft. And I do think it's because of all the work that he's put in. For any player necessarily, that moves out at 16 to focus on their developmental skills when it comes to the game of hockey is a player that I would say would fit in quite well with the St. Louis Blues, as, our team is notorious for having strong-minded players, okay? This past season, he had 18 total points with more IK, with 8 goals and 10 assists in the 10 games he played. He also played in the World Junior Under 20 Championships with 3 goals and 2 assists in 5 games. Okay. He is 6'1" and he weighs in at 198 pounds. So he does have a strong presence on the ice, which it does go to show. I mean, you watch tape of him and you can tell that this is a bigger built player, right? With a lot of physicality. And that is something too. When I think about the St. Louis Blues and I think about what the Blues need, I do think about the fact that we do need more physicality. I mean, this team doesn't have an enforcer really. And I know in the episode a couple of days ago, I did talk about, hey, that might be something that the Blues want to look into. Well, this is it. This is a player that would give you that aggressiveness that you desperately need, because in hockey, you need to be tough, okay? Especially Blues hockey. And yet he does have great hockey IQ and he's great with his puck control. Now, usually when you have aggressive players, sometimes their puck control isn't as good, and then it kind of just shows that they're slacking on the ice. Luckily, though, for Michael, it shows that it is strong and he is able to carry not only the puck, but carry the line. And that is something too that when I watched tape of him, I did notice about Brandsegg-Nygård. Anywho, he spoke for himself on an interview with NHL.com and said, maybe my best skill is my shot. I think I have a heavy shot. I feel like I have a great hockey sense. I can read the game well and make plays. So, what do I take from that quote? I take that this is a confident young man that believes in himself and knows what he is good at. The thing about him too, and this is what I really like too, I think I have a heavy shot. Well, I can confirm that he does from watching his tape. And the best part about him having a heavy shot, again, something we need to see more out of the Blues. We need to see more of that aggressiveness, especially when it comes to the crease. So if you have a player that's already, hey, I have a great heavy shot, I have a great sense of the game, that is showing me that this is a player that could fit in very well with being on the Blues. Gets better. This guy keeps on impressing, okay? Because this is what makes him stand out. It is his dedication to the game and his continuancy to develop, okay? Now you might be wondering, Hale, why would he fall to 16 if he's this good of a player? Well, couple factors. One, there's always players that are better than him. As great as he is, you're not going to draft him within the first 13 picks, maybe. This draft, I talked about this before, it's defense heavy. And I know I've been preaching, I want the Blues to pick a defender. I want the Blues defense. I know what I've been saying on this podcast, but this is a player that I feel like would be a steal, a player that the Blues would have to go for if he's still on the board. I know last year, Benson, I wanted him. We didn't get him. He was on the board, but I liked Board Dvorsky. Happy with him. But it's one of those things too, where when you look at the prospects and you look what they can bring, you have to sometimes go for the guys that are not the position that you would like them to get. I mean, Brandsegg-Nygård is somebody that I really do think that would elevate the St. Louis Blues and make them a much better team. Now, do I think that the Blues still need defensive help? Absolutely. But again, this is what's so cool about the draft is that you don't know who the other teams are taking except maybe the first couple of picks of the draft, obviously. So when it comes to being, in the midst of the first round, it's a fair game. He could get picked up by another team or he could fall back to us. Now, this is when you have to think. I know we talked about Steiner becoming the future GM and how he's a special assistant. Listen, right now it's still Dougie A. Armstrong needs to make a decision. And I was thinking to myself, Hale, what are the Blues going to do when it comes to the draft? Will Army make a decision? Will something be done? Well, luckily, one of our great reporters that covers the St. Louis Blues, Lou Korak, did put out on social media saying, Doug Armstrong said he will not use the number 16th pick to trade for a player of today. Would he use it to package to move it up? Yes. Would he use it to package for a younger player with the right term that fits in the Blues' plans? Yes. Plenty of choices. So there is always that possibility. Now, that coming out today made me think, I'm like, is Doug going to cook? Is Dougie A cooking? And I don't know. Now, the Blues also need to keep in mind that this draft, as good as some of these players are, it's not like last year's draft, and free agency is better. And I know I've talked about that. But Brandsegg-Nygård is one of those players that I feel like could be ready to play in the NHL. I mean, he's 18 now. Maybe, oh my God, am I going to be crazy if I say this? Maybe like sometime in the season. Now, I know, crazy. I know, but like I'm thinking like more like the end of the season, like with the last couple of regular season games. You truly don't know. And I think that's the thing is that as much as everyone's saying, elite prospects, he's ready to play, he's good. Is he though? Is he ready to be an NHL level? And that is where the Blues actually do striving because I do feel like they are great at developing players in St. Louis. Despite what you might think, they definitely are compared to other teams in the NHL. So there is a possibility. But let me know what you think. Do you like Michael Brandsegg-Nygård, or do you think that the Blues are still going to go with a defenseman and not a winger? Let me know down in the comments below. Well, a familiar face returns back to St. Louis, but maybe not for the reason that you think. I'll tell you more about who that is because it honestly made my day today. But I want to talk to you about my friends over at Policygenius, okay? A lot of life is unpredictable, but a good life insurance plan gives you and your family a financial safety net to protect against some of the unknowns. Policygenius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace. It makes choosing the right policy for your family easy and quick. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that are just $292 per year for $1 million coverage. Some options are 100% online and let you avoid unnecessary medical exams. Okay? This is where it gets better. Policygenius helps you complete your compare options so you can see all the other insurers with Policygenius, because Policygenius has no incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. They have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot from customers who found the best fit for their needs. Get peace of mind by finding the right life insurance with Policygenius. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com. Okay. Are you excited to hear about the familiar face that returned back to the St. Louis Blues? Because I literally just was like, no way, this made my day. And it is Moose. I want you all to say it with me. Moose. Moose is back, baby. And Moose is back. He's not in net, but he is helping out with net. He is a goaltending scout and a development coach. This is huge for the Blues. I am so happy that he is back. Brian Elliott, it's funny. He just is one of those guys that you just think good overall guy, and it is fantastic that he is back with this organization. It's nice having all these familiar faces back with the Blues as of lately. Lou also put out Brian Elliott will join the St. Louis Blues in a development role. He will work on amateur staff regarding future players. Steen spoke to Elliott. Armstrong reached out the next day, and Elliott said that he was available. He will be at camp. So I feel like, and it's so funny, on Twitter, Robert Thomas, All-Star Tank Engine said the band's getting back together, and that's how I feel. And this brings me up to a good point. The Blues have one of the strongest alumni bases, I feel like. And right now, we are getting the boys all back together, and I think that this would help the Blues quite a bit. I mean, here's the thing. Development camp is coming up soon. It is July 1st to the 3rd. And I think that too, the goalies were good. Okay. There's no need to worry about Hofer. There's no need to worry about, Banner. There's not. But it is good knowing that there is a guy in Brian Elliott that has played the game, obviously, and is able to navigate everything around. So that is a positive. By the way, just so you know, I'm going to be so annoying right now, but I'm going to read to you who is at the development camp right now. I know. I'm going to read the players that I think are going to be the ones that we actually have to look out for. So here we go. Tanner Dickinson. So I like Tanner a lot. He's one of our forwards. In the 2020 draft, he was 119th overall. Dvorsky is going to be coming 10th in last year's draft. I'm just seeing the guys that I like. Oh, Simon Robertson. He was 71st in 2021. Snuggy's coming, obviously, 23rd, 2022. Then we have Otto Stenberg, who was the 25th last year. And then you have that's all the forwards that I like. Now when it comes to defense, defense. Why did I say it like that? I'm trying to, like, see if I like oh, well, Theo Lindstein's fine. He was 29th last year. I'm not really liking our defenders. Well, Cranley, he was one of our goal. Yeah, no. I, I don't like our defense. No, I was actually looking at the names. I don't think a lot of them are going to pan out well. I'll do an episode basically regarding that, but I just wanted to kind of read you who I liked a lot. Like, obviously, our guys last year, but I'm not liking our defense prospects. I don't know. I don't know. Is that bad? Is it bad of me to look at some of these prospects and think I'm not a fan? Now, they could surprise me at camp, and when it comes to camp, obviously, I'm gonna do recaps on what I've observed and things like that. I'm gonna try to get some interviews and stuff like that too. But yeah, not a fan. Anyways, getting back to Moose, I just wanted to put that out there too. I think that this is a great step that the Blues are taking, obviously, with Steiner back, taking on a higher role. As we know, he's going to be the future GM in a couple of years. I do think that, having former players play a role, it does make a difference. And I think seeing too how active our alumni are with the Blues, it also is another reason why players might feel the need to come here, which brings up free agency. And, Brian Elliott's been around the league for quite a while, right? There's no doubting Moose's experience playing net and NHL hockey. But at the same time, I mean, when I look at some of these other goalies, I know I just talked about Will, but again, this is going to help those guys. It's not necessarily about, when it comes to the development of players, as I said, it's not about Binner, it's not about Hofer, it's about these prospects. The guys that we draft and the guys that honestly come a little bit underdeveloped because of their past organizations that they were with. Brian Elliott, obviously, I don't have to go on and say who he's played for, what he's done. We know that. That's not the point. The point is having somebody that's played that position in a professional level like the NHL does come with an enormous amount of respect, and it's going to make this team, this organization, so much better. So do you like the Moose is back? I'm excited about it personally. As you can tell, I was like, there's no way, because it just feels like, there's something cooking with the Blues right now in management, and they're bringing in the right guys at the right time because this feels fun again. I'm having a great time over here. I'm talking with my friends over at FanDuel. Summertime means baseball. Go Cards and the NBA Finals and more. And you can bet it all on FanDuel. Right now, new customers got $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on everything from the finals MVP to who's going to hit one out of the park. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on and add a big win to your summer bucket list. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So right now, as I am recording this, oh man, the Cards are tied 1-1 with the Miami Marlins at the top of the 8th. And the Cards sit 35-35. Honestly, start of the season wasn't great, but they're still second when it comes to the NL Central, so they do have time. I mean, they're sitting at 500 right now, so they do kind of need to win tonight's game to stay on top of 500. So if this comes out after, I do apologize. But this team has been so much fun. And what's making it even more fun is FanDuel. I mean, they beat the Cubs yesterday 2-1 and won that series because they did follow the Cubs on Friday, but they did beat them on Saturday. They did beat them on Friday 3-0. But they've been so much fun to watch. So I'm having a great time. So if I were you, take the Cards when it comes to that money line. I mean, honestly, you could also take hits. I'm not a big hit person at all. Not my kind of thing. But yeah, money line. Dylan Carlson, maybe. I don't know. But yes, do that. I'm talking too much baseball. We need to talk some hockey, some stick and puck action, eh? Well, lucky for you, I have exciting news. St. Louis, we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that is because of you. So thank you because you all have made this So much fun to talk about my favorite team, the St. Louis Blues, baby. Rep that blue note. Which is why I did something and I bought a bunch of Blues items. You would think it's for myself. It's not. It is for you. I am doing my first ever contest. That was supposed to be like really dramatic, and then I just realized I'm recording by myself. So it's not like anyone's gonna clap or show any type of emotion. So let's go add some music. That's not exciting. Is this exciting? Yeah. This is exciting. Contest. So St. Louis, what am I doing for you exactly? I am having a contest where you can win some cool Blues memorabilia, some cool Blues gear, because I want you to rep the Blue Note all summer long. I know right now we don't have hockey. Life is boring. Life is sucky without hockey. But luckily, with the contest, you're going to be able to share with me your favorite moment of being a Blues fan from this past season. That is right, because I know the obvious answer is when we won the cup. From this past season, let's make lemonade out of lemon, because it was not good, it was not fun, but this is my first season being your host of Lockdown Blues. So from this past season, 2003, 2024, I want you to share with me in the comments, and this is how you enter your favorite moment. Was it the Braden Shen hat trick? Maybe it was something that stood out to you. Or a Robert Thomas goal. I don't know what it is, but you have to let me know. And then I will choose a winner. I'm going to read off your comments, but I will enter you in. And I will randomly choose a winner in one of those like wheel selector thingies. And I will record it on my phone. So that way there is no cheating at all. But the winner will be announced in about a week. All the rules will be in the link in the description. There is one entry per person. So if you comment on the video today, telling me your favorite memory from this past season, you're entered. You don't have to do it again. Now, listen, like any good contest, if I could give all of you a prize, I would. I can't afford to do that, but I hope I can make you have a blue summer. I don't know how to even say that. But yes, I'm so excited about the first contest ever here on Lockdown Blues. So good luck. And I can't wait to hear about some of your favorite moments. Okay. That was like the most dramatic thing I've ever done in my life. But I feel so optimistic about this week ahead. So many prospects that I really want to jump into. Listen, this is a busy time. It's about to be a busy time. We have to draft already next weekend, right? Then it's free agency. Then it's development camp. There is so much going on in such a short amount of time. So right now you might be like, oh, hell, this is boring. Oh, no. Buckle up, because it is about to be anything but boring, St. Louis. And I am so excited that you are here with me on this wild ride. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.